Hello, beautiful Earth Tribe. Welcome back to my channel, Sky Above, Earth Below. This is Renee, and you're watching a timeless collective reading for the full moon in Leo, February 2022. Those of you watching near the time of this upload, you may notice that this reading is posted after the full moon has fully passed. Intuitively, I felt this Leo full moon was bringing about a powerful energetic shift in our collective timelines, so I held off on doing this reading. And rather than predict the energies, I decided to capture the epilogue, you could say, of this full moon. So I'm recording the intro before doing the reading, but whatever the cards have to say, I do feel it will be something big. Leo's planetary body is the sun, so for me, this moon's placement is basically the universe, the God, source, creator, spirit, shining a light on things hidden, on secrets, fears, things being exposed, and illumination of the subconscious. Some of you could have also experienced an activation of your intuition with this full moon. I'm also getting that for some of you, either a recognition of or a union of a twin flame connection, a soulmate or a divine counterpart with this sun and moon energy together, the yin and yang, divine masculine, divine feminine. I'm also being called to say, as we know, the sun never goes out. It just moves out of the way, if I could just say it like that, to provide us an opportunity to seek our darkness, the parts of ourselves we may not want to see. But darkness is a natural part of being human and part of our experience here on Earth. And this concept extends to the entire universe where both dark and light exist. Those resisting, looking inward at their own darkness, may find now the universe illuminating it, showing that resistance to shadow work with a gentle candle may now be a flame the size of the sun. This would be a tower moment in the tarot. With the full moon in Leo, we can expect a major shift as the sun and moon work together to sort of pull each of us into the timeline we should be on, also known as our North Node. But we do have free will. So whether we step up to that elevated timeline is truly a choice. Leo is about the self, having a strong and healthy sense of self or identity, being authentic and self-assured, being comfortable in one's own skin, radiating and being seen, being admired by others for their positive traits, having a joyful, optimistic, or even childlike nature or attitude, as well as being a beacon of light for others. Those are some of the positive traits. On the other hand, Leo's shadow can represent a persona rather than true identity, an inflated ego, narcissism, having a God's gift or Messiah complex. It can also look like distorted masculine energy, bullying or oppression, attention-seeking and needing validation from others, as well as having a mask of false confidence. No one can miss the sun. But with the full moon expression in Leo, we may find our fears, illusions, beliefs, secrets coming to light and masks falling off. So this reading may be interesting. I guess we'll see. Those of you following my lunar cycle readings, I'm not going to go over my spiel this time, but I am encouraging you all to keep up with your manifestation work. This would be a great time to tie up loose ends of anything you may be working on, or closing out a cycle. Balancing a self-care routine with other aspects of your life will be important at this time. Also, with the Leo sun attributes of this full moon, you may be experiencing a lot of insomnia, so really prioritizing your sleep, time alone for self-reflection, and doing something that brings you joy. This Leo full moon will also bring clarity to any blocks or fears you may have had to your manifestations. So if you're on a spiritual journey, don't shy away from these lessons. It is wise to look at our fears or triggers as opportunities for growth and expansion, especially when things may be hidden so far deep in the subconscious. When the sun illuminates a part of you that you may not even have been aware of before, thank your guides, your gods, your angels, your ancestors for showing you this truth about yourself. Our triggers are spiritual messages. They're here to show us what is left unhealed. Triggers provide us direction for where to go. And the more you resist, the more you see these lessons pop up in different ways, through different people, different places or circumstances, like a spiral or merry-go-round that you ride and ride until you've decided you've had enough and you get off that goddamn thing. So, only you can bring yourself to heal. And spirit is very patient. You could spend lifetimes learning a specific lesson if you believe in reincarnation, simply due to a resistance of facing fears, to healing, and living in illusion. And if not that, at least this entire lifetime. So how we choose to live is truly a solo journey, even if we're sharing our time with others. In every day, every moment, we choose. Other people, places, and things are just here to provide us something to interact with, to respond to, so we're able to define ourselves. If we had nothing to bump into, where would we end? So we have this opportunity in this physical reality to really and truly define ourselves. That is why we are here, to self-actualize. And once we leave this physical body, this physical plane, we become part of the ethers and go back to source, where we find we are really all just one. So I don't really want to go any further down this rabbit hole for the intro, but suffice to say that this Leo full moon is here to provide us an opportunity to access a higher version of self, and this happens through inner work and healing. And we do this by allowing the subconscious to become conscious. This way, when we're triggered, we can transmute that energy in the moment, rather than lash out at ourselves or at others. I feel it's healthiest to revisit them purposefully with some kind of structure, like a meditation practice or counseling therapy, and to use these designated times to heal and release, rather than staying in low vibration all day, all week, all month, in a state of anxiety or depression. We want to flow with the universe, with our emotions. Water is representation of our emotions, and we are an ocean in and of ourselves. We can submerge to dive into deeper parts of ourselves and then bob up for air and accept our human experience, the cycles of sun and moon. And I'll just share a little secret too. Once you've been doing this for a while and you've healed some major areas, you realize that allowing yourself to process triggers or emotions in the moment is a much healthier and efficient way of managing your overall emotional health, rather than stuffing and storing them for later and perhaps forever. The Matrix will have you compartmentalizing, having you always in a state of stoicism. That is because the paradigm we've created values and runs on the distorted masculine and hegemonic social structures. But the universe is a feminine energy, a mother, a creator. She is love and beauty, and her shadow is destruction. But she lovingly accepts this part of herself because creation includes the destruction and reconstruction of energy. Like the lion who only kills because he needs to eat, we need to balance healthy masculine and feminine within us. And, maybe we don't want to cry at a board meeting, but what if our societal structures were humanized? Or what if we normalized the expression of emotions in greater society? Anyway, I've rambled enough. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me at this reading for postscripts from the Leo full moon. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at sort of what can be learned from that moon phase, the full moon in Leo. Interestingly enough, when I was setting up for this reading, I noticed that there was a card from another deck kind of in between a deck that I was using for this reading. So this deck. I found this card, which comes from a different deck, in the Starseed deck. And it happened to be the lion, waking the lion. If anybody was unsure whether or not we could access Leo full moon energy for this reading after the moon has passed, here it is. Okay, so this reading, there's going to be a lot of little things I feel to touch on, to be learned from, rather than it being one storyline or encompassing message. Okay, so there's a few things going on here. First of all, what I notice here is there's a lot of water energy. So this tells me that this full moon has been quite emotional, extremely emotional. Okay, we have the new moon in Cancer, we have the moon and the King of Cups. And we also have the back of the deck card here, which shows a big pool of water. And I'll come back to that card in a bit. So you likely felt a lot of really strong emotions during this last moon. As I said in the intro, this moon is a catalyst of sorts because it's backed by sun energy. So we're talking about flames, the sun source energy influencing this full moon. So whatever you have going on in your life, this is truly the universe speaking to you. And emotions are our human way of alerting us to not just how we feel, but providing us sort of a container in which to see ourselves. Because if we didn't have feelings, how would we know whether or not something was good for us, for example? So, it's really important. Our feelings they're part of our intuitive guidance. They are part of our biology. So if you've been in a place during this full moon phase where you've been repressing any emotions, compartmentalizing them, and then forgetting about them, this kind of thing, that's going to lead to a fiery climax. I'm feeling, because this card is here, full moon in Aries. Aries is the god of war. So imagine what kind of anger might be attached to that. We've got the color red, indicating fire and root chakra energy. We also have the ram, which for me, I always associate with the devil card. So, having some perhaps negative impulses in you that may be coming to light with the sun aspect of this full moon. The moon is here as well. And so what this is telling me is that indeed there has been likely a lot illuminated about, any fears you may have, beliefs and thoughts about yourself and your situation, which can keep you sort of stuck in perhaps a toxic pattern or, whatever might influence you internally, to be stuck in a loop or a pattern of what might be very difficult to look at about yourself. Okay, the World card often signifies the closing of a cycle. And for some of you, I feel that has happened. But for some of you, it hasn't. And the World card is a loop, which can indicate a repeating cycle. And here we have the higher aspects. We have an image of man and eagle. And down here we have an image of the goat and the lion. And these images are indicating the need to sort of overcome primal urges, our animalistic side. What comes to mind for me when I think about the higher and lower aspects of man? The lower aspects for me have to do with the 7 deadly sins. They are the more dark or animalistic, kind of non-thinking, more impulsive ways of thinking and behaving. Whereas the higher self, represented by the man and eagle, this is where someone has mastered themselves, if that makes sense. So they are able to manage their lower natures, acknowledging them and managing them, and living in a more mindful way, a more spiritually connected way, or at least in a healed and healthy way. So I'm getting that that's part of what is to be learned from this full moon in Leo. Okay, also we see here with the beginnings card, you can see this doorway, this portal energy. So this full moon is a portal. I talked about this a bit in the intro, and what I meant is that this Leo full moon is an opportunity to expand ourselves in the direction toward a higher version of ourselves. The Leo moon, the sun, has come to illuminate something that you haven't been seeing about yourself, whether that be, stuffing it down, knowing it's there, or not knowing it's there and it's living in your subconscious, where it comes out as projected unhealed wounds. So, each of us functions from all the things stored in our subconscious. It's like that part of the computer that runs, your installed programs. So you might have belief systems or ways of navigating your world that you know about. You installed this or that program. You have this app running. But you may not see that part of the computer that's running that app or that program, if that makes sense. Sorry, I don't have I'm not a computer scientist, so I'm not a pro with technology, but if the basic structures of our mind that run the programs we are intending to run is damaged in some way, then whatever we're trying to run consciously is being affected by whatever's damaged in the subconscious, in that part of the computer that we don't see. So this is why it's so important to do the inner work, to take that deep dive, to look at what's running your programs. And that is, in human terms, our subconscious. The moon here would indicate that as well. The moon is about the subconscious and looking at our fears, our secrets, our illusions, the illusions we may create for ourselves. And with the King of Cups, what I'm getting from this is that we have an opportunity to master our emotions, to be emotional, to function off a healthy subconscious, and to acknowledge that we are emotional beings. And I feel called to say that this is especially a message for the masculine. And I think that's why it showed up here as the king rather than the queen, because our world is so dominated by masculine structure and thought. And, as we all know, the masculine is not encouraged to even acknowledge their emotional body, let alone share their emotions. And we can find this stoicism or repression of feelings in women as well, because we all have masculine and feminine. But a lot of times where emotions can become a problem is when we are not accepting them or we're not expressing them. And that is more seen with masculine energies. It's more acceptable, and I would say even expected. So, as we move forward, creating a new earth where we balance our masculine and feminine within each of us, where we become aware of whether or not our masculinity or femininity is healthy. There's an aspect to this Leo full moon that is highlighting that. Leo, the sun, is a masculine energy. And there's a lot of beautiful and wonderful traits of the Leo energy. I love Leos and I appreciate their healthy expression because they are truly beacons of light to this world. But get a Leo in their toxic shadow side and you're looking at someone who can be powerfully destructive. So with Leo, it's really a powerful, potent energy, and it's doing all of that from a place of feeling secure in oneself and being self-assured enough to understand that other people can also have this energy. Like the sun doesn't compete with other suns. It just is. Right? Each star we look at in the sky is beautiful in its own right. We can all shine and be beautiful and admired by others without feeling a sense of low self-worth. So I feel like this aspect of feeling secure in oneself is coming to light with this Leo full moon. If you skipped the intro, I highly encourage you going back and listening to it because I really feel like most of what I said is echoed here, and I find myself trying not to repeat what I said in the intro. So I want to give you the information that I'm receiving from these cards, but it truly, really is reflecting what I said in the intro without ever having to have looked at these cards. So what I intuited in the intro is showing here. So you're going to get a lot more insight as well if you go back and listen to the intro. Also, with this moon, I feel like whatever transition you may be making, and by that I mean it is a choice to walk through that portal. Here we also have the World card. This is another portal. So strong portal energy here with this full moon. As I said also in the intro. Also, I look at these pillars as a portal, right? Same with this. You're walking through two pillars. You're walking through two pillars, kind of. That's a door, but you know what I mean. It says here, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. We also have another portal here. Nobody can see that. So, yeah, I mean, what is there to learn from this Leo full moon? Strongly, it is, are you going to walk through this portal? We also have this back of the deck energy, the path with another portal. So, yeah, everything I was saying in the intro before looking at these cards is here strongly. We're going to talk about, though, this idea of walking through that portal because your choice to walk through it, it's a choice. It says here, South Node, don't let your past hold you back. South Node energy is something that we come to this life having already sort of mastered. It's all the knowledge and wisdom that our soul comes to this life with. Some people feel this knowledge and wisdom comes from the accumulation of all of our past lives. But whether or not you believe in reincarnation, our soul, our spirit, our essence, whatever makes us who we are deep down, there is a knowledge and wisdom of that. We have cellular memory. We have, DNA that's been passed down from our ancestors, that's been influenced by all of the epigenetics of the various environments that they've lived and died in. So, we don't understand everything about us or the universe. And I feel that it behooves us to understand when we're talking about our spiritual nature, to come to a sense of identity, we really truly need to get back to who we are at the core level. Like, if no one else existed in your life, who would you be? So I talked in the intro about other people, places, and things being something tangible that we experience in the physical reality for us to be able to have something to bump up against. So with every interaction we have with someone, in every moment of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year of our life, every interaction we have is a choice to think, feel, and act in whatever way that we define ourselves to be. Our self is how we act, what we think, what we feel. It is what we like, what we don't like. So I feel like with this don't let your past hold you back card, the South Node card, your essence that you came to this life with, you're being called to reevaluate this Leo full moon is shining a light on that so that you can see it, because the South Node energies can often be very hidden. They can definitely be, mostly even part of our subconscious. But they can also just be, our fears. The moon energy represents our fears, so fears can definitely be a conscious part of ourselves. Being afraid of spiders. It's not in your subconscious. Oh my God. I need to get over that. Anyway, so I feel like this full moon, it's big. It's big, you guys. Like, really, it's shining a light on who you are, your identity, your essence. And also, as I said in the intro, don't push this opportunity away. This is truly a moment for you to see. This is God Source Creator Spirit showing you with God Source Creator energy the flames of the sun, what you need to look at, what wounds you have unhealed. What and who are you truly? You can choose to stay in your old self, running your old programs off other wounded programs that are running in the background. Or we can choose to investigate and evaluate ourselves and walk through that portal, and this portal, and this portal, and this portal. Okay? You're being encouraged by this Leo full moon to walk through the goddamn portal. Also to, embrace your emotions, to learn about them as messages, to learn from them, to manage them in a healthy way so that they don't come out, explosively. Are we a different person for different people? Because that will tell you something, right? If you can't be your true self in front of every single person you encounter, then that should signal to you that there's some things going on. We need to look at that. We need to feel empowered and worthy enough inside of ourselves to express ourselves fully as who we truly are. And you can only do that if you know who you are. So it's, this is pretty deep. We have to look at ourselves to understand it. And to give you some encouragement, as a deeply emotional person, I just got to share a life hack with you, because emotions, as afraid of them as most people are, they are so cathartic. They are so healing. They allow us to release. They allow us to move on. They allow us to accept reality. If you're not accepting reality, you are accepting illusion. So being emotional is just part of that big picture. Emotions are messages for us to heed. They provide guidance so we know where to go, so we know what choices to make. And I'm not saying make choices based on emotions. I'm saying allow emotions to be, to flow, to even well up and be released so that you can come to a place of centeredness and then make wise decisions. And this is why we have the King of Cups, because he is emotionally balanced, emotionally intelligent. What else? What I'm also seeing here, for some of you, this abundance card is kind of I feel like it's a little bit of a square peg in this reading. And same with the Six of Pentacles. So I think that there's just a couple of small messages that are coming through here. I feel like those of you who are taking this as a step in personal growth or taking this spiritual journey, walking through this portal is the path to your abundance. Okay? That's what this reading is saying. There is abundance on the other side of this. So, learning from what is being shown and embracing that change within yourself so that you can walk through these portals. Whichever portal you choose, right? Because there's different ones. I feel like you have choices. And that abundance card, I think, coincides with the Six of Pentacles, because I think whatever has to do with your abundance, it has to do with balance and equal give and take. Also, because we have the King of Cups here, I feel that for some of you, there may be a masculine energy that wants to journey toward you, because we do have all of these portal cards where a person could walk through. And I feel like there is a masculine King of Cups energy that wants to take a bold step toward you. Okay, and here we have this card, which I said I would come back to. Fall into my arms. Surrender. This is such a beautiful card. It says holding the opposites, the extremes of life. Oh my gosh, and right behind it, the portal. Okay. Holy cow. Strong portal energy here, people. All right, but that fall into my arms, surrender, and the picture of that card, I mean, it's just beautiful, and I feel like whoever this King of Cups is, this person wants to hold you. This person wants you to surrender in their arms and provide you with emotional healing, with nurturing, with love. And this person may be watching you. Whatever that means. Like, I'm not getting like a toxic energy from that. I'm getting more of they haven't come forward yet, I feel like. So they're watching until they do. If that makes sense. All right. Anything else? Oh, yes, one more thing. It says here, activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you are led. This is talking about, and some of you who know astrology know what I'm talking about. There are lines on this earth where the magnetic energy is, how do I say it? It's like conducive to who you are. It's like you resonate at a certain frequency. And yes, our energy fluctuates and whatnot, but what I'm saying is, as a person, as you, as your essence, as your identity, as whatever culmination of healing you've brought yourself through, you resonate at a certain frequency. And that frequency can be harmonious to certain ley lines on Earth. And this is why, if you go to certain places, you feel some sort of like otherworldly connection to it. You feel like you know it somehow, or you just feel so deeply connected, like you've lived there before, or that you just love that place so much. And a lot of times people would say that this is a memory from a past life or something like that. But however you look at it, the Earth has a magnetic field, and in different parts of the Earth, you can go to where a certain frequency is not just harmonious with where your vibration is, but also conducive to the growth that you seek. For example, you can go to certain places on Earth to become more spiritually aware, to become more aware of yourself, okay? To become more connected to your ancestry, to become, oh my God, how do I say this? For example, if you are a business owner and you have a certain business and you can go anywhere with it, let's just say, your business might be really productive in one place on Earth and really not productive, not successful in another place. And that is because these ley lines, they activate, due to their vibration, certain parts of yourself. So if you're at a place where, for example, Scorpio or Pluto energy is coming through, you may find that this transformative energy is not conducive, right? It's not that that's bad. We all need transformation. This is what allows us to evolve, to elevate in our consciousness, in our frequency, in our healing and, understanding of ourselves. That's not necessarily going to be a good place for you to run a business or to shine your light, right? Because that kind of energy, it pulls you inward. And shining your light, being your expressive self, being who you truly are in the outside world is not going to be conducive in a place that shines light inward, if that makes sense. So there are places on Earth that can help us be more successful or to accomplish something specific. In addition to that, I feel like with all the portal energy in this reading, that some of you are being led to different places. So you may be feeling the need to leave someplace, right? That's what we do with portal energy. We leave someplace and go to another. Perhaps a place we feel more attuned to ourselves, to who we truly are. Perhaps a place where we just want to change our life or have a new experience. 2222 on the computer. 2 on this portal card as well. So, yeah, okay, so that's what I have for you, collective. Number 456 on the clock. This is about elevation, about taking a new journey, evolving. All right, so that's your reading for the full moon in Leo. If anyone would like to share how this reading resonated for you, I would love your confirmations. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my channel, and hit the bell for all notifications if you'd like to stay connected with my future readings. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, my information is in the description box below, as well as links to donate and to all the decks I used in this reading. May the full moon in Leo be the catalyst you didn't know you needed. Okay? Okay, may you all have a beautiful day from wherever in the world you're watching. I'm sending you all grounding energy and love. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you at my next reading.